Please subscribe show. YouTube Cole Spivey. Yeah, man.
Inside here, so here we go.
Please subscribe show, YouTube.
Cole Spivey.
So today is April 24th, and we're looking at probably some rain for the day. I'm gonna look at the weather bug and see what weather bug says. And some water. Usually there's robins. And there's the robin right there, and then there's black crow looking birds. There's some of the robins right there. Those are usually the two that are always out together. They usually are always in the same kind of pack kind of thing. And we're gonna be headed towards South Lake to deal with maybe some rain, but I did bring the big umbrella right there, so you can see it right there. Thank goodness I brought that. Okay, so 4 p.m. says 40% chance of rain, 5 p.m. says 60% chance of rain, and I think it continues like that through 7, 8, 9 p.m. or so. I don't know if you can see kind of a blue haze kind of thing with these guys. See it? See, it's like a blue, almost like lens or some kind of blue lens thing. So it I don't know if it cancels out the blue light, but everything looks kind of yellow, kind of like those glasses you'd wear to kind of see clear, where it's like yellow. I think sometimes you can use them if you're, I don't know, like out hunting, or maybe doing photography or something, and everything is more kind of bright and defined. It's interesting. I'll let you look through them. You can kind of see those are probably need to be clean right there, but you can kind of see kind of through the glasses right there. That's kind of how it looks, and that's how it looks when not in the glasses, and then that's how it looks in the glasses right there. It's pretty cool. I don't know. It kind of works for me a little bit, you know. I like it. So kind of what's cool is if I go to the right angle, then you can see the blue. And I go back up, and then right angle right there, see the blue. It's pretty cool. It's like blue shades almost. And then it goes back to regular. Probably gonna go right under its path. Yeah, but the only thing is that it just made a sharp right, which is very strange because the airport is a sharp left. Oh no, it's going in for a landing, never mind. It's choosing one of the further, I guess, airplanes down that way. Okay. Sometimes I like to get it when it's like right over my path. Anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. I thought for a minute it was going to come like right directly over. Just where you're just like, and that happens when you're driving. It comes out of nowhere. You're just driving and all of a sudden right over. All right, well, it's at 342. There it goes. 342. And I think the weather report's at 4 is 40%, and then 5 is 60% chance of rain. So I'm gonna kind of keep an eye on WeatherBug a little bit, look for alerts and things like that. I'll keep you posted. Okay, so we just got a severe lightning alert from 343, believe it or not, which is 344, all the way to about 410 or so. So just a little 30-minute kind of area kind of thing. Then we're having a severe thunderstorm risk from now to about 7 a.m. It's about 3:45 or so to about 7 a.m. We're this is like a severe thunderstorm risk. I'm going to go ahead and risk it just because economics, it's kind of, I need to. And I'm just going to try to take my time, like when it really starts pouring down, turn everything off, find some, shelter or whatever. Then, once it starts to clear up again, then come out of the overhang or wherever I'm at, whether it be an apartment or a gas station or wherever it is, bridge or whatever, So I'm gonna really keep focused at things I pass by. Something, if it gets really, really draining, I can get underneath there and I'll check back in with you guys. So I'm gonna keep my eyes open for possible overhangs that can shelter me from the storm. Things maybe like a bridge, like this bridge for, like, I wouldn't really recommend that. I recommend like a gas station or even, like a hotel, things like that too. Oh, there's a deer crossing. Well, it looks like you can see partial cloud right there where the light is coming forward this way in this direction. So that could be some of the storm there, the discoloring of the clouds there. Ultimately, it looks like it's maybe way over there. Actually, it could be an opening of the clouds. I'm not really for sure from back here. But anyway, I'm picking up Christina's Mexican food. It's like a high-class, fine Mexican restaurant. All right, there's those clouds I was talking about earlier. They kind of part right there. So that's a lot of rainwater right there. Then you can see it there. It's probably already precipitation on the other side of Roanoke. Right there. We're looking at about 4 p.m. So that storm is on its way. Believe me, it is. I can tell. You can even smell it. Going into Tarrant County line right now. It's part of the alert. Approaching a railroad crossing here pretty soon. That's Fort Worth and that's Keller right there. And Cowtown Fair is going between February and March 6th. I don't know why they still have that sign. We're already in April, but I guess they, haven't found billboard space. Of course, here's Jim Adler. He's got a lot of billboard space all across Texas, really. Probably more than anybody else. He's got the sledgehammer, those big trucks, and looks like we'll be headed, I think this is actually kind of I'm trying to think which road this is. Yeah, I had a friend in junior high. His name was Moon. And that was really his name. He kind of looked a little like Bruce Lee, maybe a little taller than Bruce Lee. But man, he completely knew Kung Fu, just like Bruce Lee. And we were all like kind of ninjas. We'd hang out but we were all obsessed with ninjutsu. Jiu-jitsu hadn't really been that popular when I was in the 1980s or so. 1985, maybe around that time. Anyway, Moon, who is an Asian man, or he is now, but he was an Asian kid. He lived here at this Buddhist. I've been through here before. It's actually a Buddhist colony, and they have some normal houses like that, and they have, you know, more Asian looking houses. This street's called Wat. Okay, golly, I'm trying to vlog. Anyway, it's really cool. I should go in there maybe sometime and show you what the Buddhist monks, you know, kind of live like and stuff. It'd be cool. They welcome that kind of stuff. Now, you must realize I'm full-on Christian, but it is good for Christians to bring in other cultures, especially people and cultures that are different, and they may eat different foods and behave differently, so that, you know, all are welcome into the nations of Christ. And you can see probably quite a bit of rain on its way. I thought this was a cool little neighborhood. They have these little fountains. You don't see this at all, really, in any neighborhoods. Probably can even fish. I see this guy got his son and motorbike. I don't know if they're fishing, but there might be fish in there. Just thought it was kind of cool, Keller area. We'll be heading back down past that Wat Road. I may go in there and, you know, just kind of, I don't know. I'll have to see how I feel when I get to that point. But it looks like a little cool, like, Buddhist colony, you know. They're mostly like, it's part of their religion, you know, how they feel about temples and worship. And I did study some Buddhism, although I'm a pretty diehard Christian. So, but at the time in college, I was exploring, and it brought me all the way to New York. I wouldn't say necessarily Buddhism brought me necessarily to New York. It was the love of acting and theater. And I actually got to sit down and talk to Richard Gere. I mean, I actually got to talk to Gere. And he's, I would agree that Richard Gere is a Buddhist. Just the way he is, he's very instinctual in answering questions and responding. He never really responds without there being some form of emotion in one way. Gere's actually a pretty good actor. He is still working today. I did see something called The Dinner, and he's done some really amazing work, very committed and dedicated work. Sam Shepard actually kind of envied him. Sam Shepard was a great playwright and a good actor too, and Sam Shepard actually kind of envied him. I had wrote about Gere a little bit and some of his Motel Chronicles. You could tell that it was about Richard Gere. Richard Gere being the epitome of the actor, you know, just full-on actor. Which is really what he is. He's pretty much, he's just the actor. Not a lot of direction, not a lot of screenplay writing, you know, not a lot of filmmaking kind of other than being the actor, you know. I don't know if he has any other desires. I'm sure he does when it comes to the arts. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he probably maybe paints and things like that. But he's a big supporter of Tibetan Buddhism and Tibetan culture, which is really adamant in Irving. The Tibet culture is very adamant in Irving. I got to talk to him, and I always say, you know, he just seemed a little snippy, you know, because I asked him to define acting, and I thought it was a good question. He finally said he couldn't really do it. You know, he kind of did this squint like this, because I kind of look like Richard Gere. I can't really, you know, it's whoever you are, you know, at that moment, you know. But, you know, I think maybe it was the squinting of the eyes. I don't think he really had that. But you know, someone had come to me and said, was he kind of snippy to you a little bit? But it was a tough question. But I thought he was a good acting teacher. We're gonna go ahead and go in here. It's called it's a difficult word. The word for the road is Wat Road, and I guess they have a name. It is a private road, but they do. I think it's a good day to go in there. I'm gonna see. They do have a name for it, and it's Wat Buddharatanaram. So Buddharatanaram. Sorry about that. Wat Buddharatanaram. Okay, and this is also known as Sahapayak Road. So it has more than one name on the road. One is Wat, and one is, I don't even really know exactly how to pronounce that because my Asian language is not my forte at all. But one thing that I do know about Buddhism is that they've practiced what's known, what I think, okay, because I've talked to other Buddhists and they're real quiet about the actual practice. They don't really talk about it a whole lot. So I can never really confirmed my studies in literature or just reading about it. But the Eightfold Path is something that I learned in world religion, which follows right speech, right mind, right thought, right meditation, right posture. I think there's like right eating, right breathing. It goes back to it always focuses kind of on meditation. And then there's, there's two different major types of Buddhism. There's, I believe I can't really pronounce it anymore. There's the Western belief, and then there's the Eastern, which are very different beliefs. And the Western, we'll start with the Eastern. The Eastern belief is that, and this is Wat Buddharatanaram. And the Eastern belief is more that when you die, it's like an extinguished candle. Look at some of this artwork right here. But it's like an extinguished candle. And here's one of the temples right here, which is just beautiful. Meaning it's borderline like almost atheist in a way where you die and then it's kind of over. This is more of kind of the spiritual aspect of it right here. And then I'm going to just kind of turn around this way here. But that's the Eastern one. It's they do follow the Eightfold Path, which is, like I said before, the right speech, right mind, right thought, and all that stuff. That's the Eastern one. And it's very meditative and based in just nature. Nature is like a very important aspect of Buddhism on the Eastern side. Okay, this is what I've studied. I wish I could remember the names of the two. And the Westernized Buddhism, which is a Western way, they believe that Buddha was headed towards like a Western, kind of almost like this, like the sun was a big part of it, and that they were headed to like almost like a magic place, not necessarily magic, but that Buddha, there was almost kind of like an afterlife to a certain extent, which is very different than the Eastern side, which is interesting because if you're a Christian and you wanted to talk to them about Jesus, if they're from the Western belief, there is kind of a belief in a Western, like almost world or a place beyond the sun. That's interesting. That's a very interesting thing. Here's something here. And you can hear the bells are also an important part of Buddhism as well. The bell and meditation. Also a slow life that's humble. Humble to other people. Here's some monks right over here. They're going inside. See how they move kind of in one motion, kind of very, very fluid. They're kind of going in and shutting the door. But this is actually, there's like a dragon out front, which is also in a lot of things here, which is just beautiful. And Moon actually, I believe he lived here. He did talk about it. He wore kind of like ninja shoes and stuff like that to school because we were all like just really into ninjas. Now the elephant's also a symbol too. You can see here. And also control is a big part. I guess that gate's locked right there. That's a beautiful, right there. A little bit of Hindi influence there. But the control and the balance in life is very important, meaning self-control was kind of, and for all actors, you're going to come across something of the sort at one time in your life. And this is like a little community. You can tell it's just very quiet. And there's several temples kind of in the center and things like that. Oh, you can hear some of the bells there blowing in the wind there. This way just looks like a little dock that already passed by. The chimes are also important in Buddhism, and just meditation, deep thought. Meditating is something they do daily. You could compare it a little bit to transcendent, you know what I'm trying to say, but transcendentalism, or what Henry David Thoreau is in. That word has always been, especially when I'm on the run or on the road or driving, is what I'm saying. Transcendentalism. There, I finally caught it. Transcendentalism. These are some of the houses and trailers. Now, this property that we're on was actually given, this colony was given to the Vietnamese right around probably going into the 70s, or maybe it could even be older than that. But it was actually given to them as almost kind of like a reservation coming out of Vietnam. And that's where Moon was from, I believe. I believe it was from Vietnam. And it's also Tibetan Buddhism as well. There's two different types, but it's been so long since I've studied. But it's very enlightening. Enlightenment was one of the things about the Western Buddha, and even the Eastern Buddha. Enlightenment is what he became. He realized he could not starve himself, because a lot of the monks would back in the day. They had a different type of religion that they don't support. And what happened was Buddha, who was studying with these other monks, became very, very skinny. And his stomach almost touched his spine, and he decided to go into a restaurant and eat. And that's where Buddhism kind of started. There's a Thai restaurant here too called Thai Monkey. But that's where it started, not at Thai Monkey, but at a restaurant where he realized that he needed to eat in a balanced diet, in a balanced way, using self-control as kind of the central point of finding enlightenment. It was about balance, and not too much and not too little. And they used to do they would go one extreme or another in another type of religion. But this is before Buddhism, Confucius kind of stuff, and they were not balanced at all. This is when Kung Fu was coming about, all this kind of stuff. And the Buddhist monks were trying to practice something, and it was all about enlightenment and finding a sense of balance. And that's where Buddha kind of represented. And he was known as kind of the perfect person because he could find this balance. But one of the things they say in Buddhism is if you ever come across Buddha on a trail, what do? You kill him. And that's just a weird thing. But it is a very mystic religion, and sometimes even persecution has been a part of it, especially in Vietnam during the 60s. There's been many persecutions. You could tell those monks were very kind of in control of their movements and things like that. But like I said, I'm a diehard Christian, and I just thought it was interesting to go in there and just to even like mention, that's a big truck behind me, just to even mention Jesus Christ, And I'm sure they've heard of Jesus, I'm sure somewhere down the line it's been brought about. But you got to realize it's very, very different. Christianity is very different than Buddhism. Remember, Buddhism is a sect of Hinduism. And I have talked to Hindus in Irving about Genesis and Christians and being a Christian and knowing Jesus Christ. It's very foreign to them. I mean, very foreign. They don't even really have the concept, especially in Hindi, they don't really have the concept of Adam and Eve. They don't even have that kind of concept in Hinduism. I have a friend that went over to India and she studied with them. Her name was Kate, and she went there. I think she even married among them. She married, I think, a gentleman that was Hindi. I'm not for sure on that, but I know that Kate was very cultural. But the thing about Christ is that it's a very definite thing. You know, he is the ruler of the universe, Jesus Christ, and he's the only God. But I thought it was interesting. Just go in there. It's kind of a little adventure. It's beautiful to look at. They're very peaceful people. They waved. You know, I waved at one of them and they waved back. Very nice. One of the pastors that are just really very green pastor that gets my attention. Very calm, serene. Now, there's nothing wrong with finding a calmness within. There's nothing wrong with searching out enlightenment, as long as you don't see it as like a god. Now, you realize the Buddhist monks, they worship this way of life, right? It's a practice. And I talked to one of my pastors a while back, in my you know, they don't even really like to call it study of Christianity. There is some study involved in Scripture, but he never said it was a practice. Like, Christianity is not really a practice. It's not a performance. It's not a practice. It's not a meditation. It's a real life relationship, a blood life relationship with the most real person, who is a person of humanity, Jesus Christ. Also, the God and ruler of everything. He's the king. He's King of Kings. He rules. He's a ruler. And he knows all things. He's speaking right, through me, at times. This is a big, long journey that I'm on. I don't know exactly, if anyone can follow all more 1,200 posts, but it is, in a way, people don't realize it. And I don't use a lot of scripture, but it's evangelical. I don't know about YouTube and its own platform. I'm not going to say YouTube is evangelical. But to go out and to speak on a mountaintop is exactly what he commanded. He commanded his followers, Jesus Christ, he wanted us to heal and baptize. That's it. Heal. We were to heal other people. We were to heal them from their sickness. That's our job. We're commanded to do that. Are you healing someone today? Probably you're not. You're commanded to heal. That's hard. To heal someone is hard. You're also commanded to baptize, which is also it's not just easy to just baptize someone. You have to have the help of Jesus Christ. You can't just go into some colony like that and just start baptizing and healing. You have to be guided by the Lord. But it is something that I don't feel that is really kind of just me saying, okay, I just picked up the phone. And I did find interest first visually. I guess that's where God got me. And it ended up me losing my family. Now you got to realize, I also played John Bunyan.